What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you some GLS content today. And this is, I know I'm a couple days late on this, but this is for the town hall that was last Friday, October 14th. Now, I am going to be trying to do my usual 5 biggest takeaways if you're familiar with the Splinterlands series that I do for those town halls. So whenever they have town halls for GLS or GLG, I should say, I will be covering that here, giving you my 5 biggest takeaways. So again, this is not a summary. I don't know about video content creators covering this stuff. NFT gaming collectibles might be doing it, but right now I am looking at Rosie W on Peak D, who did, I guess, kind of the official town hall summary for them, and she's a fantastic content creator and written creator, so make sure you go and show her some love on this post. There's a lot of stuff here, so if you want to get all the details and don't want to listen to the entire thing, she's great about putting like literally the entire minutes in there, so everything that has been said pretty much. So I'm going to jump into this. I got 5 things that I want to discuss. I'm going to share those with you here, and we will go ahead and get started. So the first thing, and I know I'm covering this late because this was last Friday, and 2 days ago we had the pre-sale begin for Genesis League Goals, right, which is the MLSPA soccer/football game that is essentially the launch title for this platform that GLS is. So I believe we had 127,000 packs sold in the pre-sale. And if we look at it now, there's still like a little under 300,000 packs available. So this is not selling out as quickly as people were expecting it to, at least based on the last couple of sales or pre-sales that were done. So Tower Defense, Rooney, and Rift Watchers. So obviously, this is a new game. This is a different audience. You're going to have some carryover from Splinterlands, but the hope is that there will be a brand new audience that comes into this game. So 127,000 packs, I don't think is bad. I think it only looks bad in the context of, well, you're expecting it to sell out like crazy. But I know that there were some Splinterlands whales that sat out the Rift Watchers pre-sale and decided to just hang on and buy cards off the market or wait until things cool down. So I wouldn't be surprised if more people from the Splinterlands community ended up passing on this. I mean, I know, and I've had conversations with several folks who have passed on this. Now, myself, I do want to get packs, but the fact that they're selling slow, I've kind of been a little lazy on it, so I actually haven't gotten any packs yet, but I do plan on doing so. It's just the slower it goes, the more complacent I feel. But I think 127,000 packs, at least in the pre-sale, shows that there is whale interest here, because I think you had to spend at least a minimum of like $10,000, which really comes down to like 2,000 packs. So it seems as though there was a lot of activity, but 500,000 packs is a lot, right? And I forgot how many total that they're doing, but it's 500,000 packs for the pre-sale 1. Then there's going to be a pre-sale 2 early next year, which will be another 500,000 packs. So there's a lot to go around, and there's not really much to show for it from a gameplay standpoint. Everything is still very much in development, and we don't even have an estimated date of when this will be released, right? It's Q1, Q2 of next year, maybe, right? So I don't think that it's a terrible thing to hold off on this, but if you do want to get in on the pack sale, they are giving you GLX tokens as kind of like a reward for staking your packs, and I'm all for that. I know it's not the best thing, and I know people fundamentally or ideologically disagree with it, but I want to see people who are taking a chance and supporting stuff early on get rewarded. And if this is a way that the game and Splinterlands can do this, right? Because they're doing it with Tower Defense, they're essentially doing it with Land as well, and now they're going to be doing it with GLS or GLG, I should say. I'm all for it. Now, what does that mean in the short term? Well, I'm not really confident on the token values over time if people are just trying to recoup some capital. But ultimately we'll end up seeing what happens and how it plays out over the next couple of weeks and months. Okay, number 2, this was an interesting thing that Chatter brought up about building the marketing from the ground up. And again, it's going to be hard to explain it outside of the simple fact that, like, he's talking about how this is, and this is not really just a marketing thing, but everything when it comes to a lot of these new projects. The team is, in my opinion, looking at what worked well and what didn't work well with Splinterlands, and essentially going to a blank canvas and being like, well, if we know where all the pitfalls are and we know what worked well, what happens if we start from scratch? And that's what GLS, or GLG, I should say, sort of feels like. Now, this is going to be a completely separate game, and I did cover the white paper in another video, so I'm not going to jump into too much white paper stuff or things that I did cover in the white paper here. Um, but there's a different marketing angle that the team can really take. And so, point of difference, let's see here, was when Aggregamat made Splinterlands, they didn't realize what a massive monster they would make in a good way. What's really cool now is we can look at the website data and see what we can do with GLS from looking at Splinterlands. So exactly what I was saying earlier. Now, when he was saying from the ground up, and it wasn't covered here, but from the ground up, it sounds as though because things are just starting out right now, they can plan for all types of marketing campaigns now, right? And they can kind of, at least from Chaddock's perspective, he can think like, okay, what's the 3, 6, 9 month marketing plans? And then how do we overlay that with the 2, 3, 4 year marketing plans that we want to do for all of the other future editions and, future releases and things like that. Just talking about GLG, right? Not about GLS. And for those who might be unfamiliar, GLG is Genesis League Goals, which is going to be the game based on the partnership they have with the MLSPA, the Major League Soccer Players Association. And GLS is the platform, Genesis League Sports, that this game, Genesis League Goals, is going to be one piece of, right? And I believe they are setting aside enough tokens to launch anywhere from like 14 to 28 other games. And that's just with what's set aside now. In the future, there could be some DAO votes to reallocate capital for even further launches at that point. So I really like what's being built out. I like where Chatter is coming from. And while I probably didn't explain it in the best way, I think that this is going to be a good thing for the team just to be able to kind of start from scratch with a blank canvas. And especially on the marketing side, there's so many more opportunities here just because the players are real, right? Like if you look at the Splinterlands characters, you can't do an endorsement deal or partner up with Grum Flameblade is my usual example and have him like tweet out to all of his followers on Instagram or tweet out to all his followers on Twitter and post on Instagram and all that. So, in this area, all of the cards are going to be based on real people, and I think there's a lot of really cool things that can be done with that. So we'll see more of the marketing, I'm sure, as we get closer to the launch of the game. Okay, number 3, GLGT, which is the Genesis League Game Time Token. There's a lot in there. Is going to be launching in November along with the staking of GLX. So next week, I believe October 25th is when the GLX airdrop is going to begin. And that is going to be only for SPS stakers. And once you get that airdrop, I believe in November, you'll be able to start staking the token and earning more tokens, right? There's going to be a 12-month period. I believe, I forgot how many tokens are available for the staking, but it will go on for, I believe, 1 year. And in addition to that, you'll also start getting the GLGT token. Now, we have no idea what the drop rate for GLGT is, or if we did, I don't believe I saw that or remember what it was in the white paper yet. A lot of the stuff is still not finalized, which I'm going to get into in a second. And so I like that because right now the only utility for GLGT is going to be in the second presale, right? So presale 2, the second set of 500,000 packs, it'll be $5 plus a GLGT token. So you will need to have the GLGT token. Now, looking at where things are at right now, and I'm going to reference two aspects. You have the first presale, which is, it's already been more than 48 hours and it has not sold out yet. In fact, it's only about 40% done, maybe a little bit over 40%. And then you have the vouchers on the Splinterlands side absolutely cratering now to 25 cents. I think this is the lowest that we've ever seen them. It is showing that there is not the appetite within the market and the current player base of Splinterlands and whatever crossover there is with Genesis League Goals. So NFA, not financial advice, but I fully expect there to not be any value given to the GLGT token, and I expect massive sell-offs when it actually comes live. So again, if nobody's interested in the packs and the only thing the GLGT token is going to get you is packs, people are just going to take whatever they can and use that to buy more assets within Splinterlands, or to buy more asset, or to withdraw from the game, or maybe to buy more GLX tokens, right? So I fully expect that to happen, unless there's some kind of crazy marketing effort that is done to bring in a massive player base that is outside of Splinterlands. But as we are in a bear market and we will be going into the end of the season, the off season for the MLS, I don't see much happening in that time period, right? There's not really a game. There's not really much that can be shown. There's not even like a little demo that people can play. So I fully expect the token prices to absolutely crater between now and like, I don't know, February of next year, whenever things launch. Now, I know I'm being a little bearish on here, but that's because I try to keep it realistic with you guys. And I don't see any kind of catalyst that would make people come in. There is the World Cup happening in November and December of this year, and I'm bullish on that just because I love the World Cup. So I think that there may be some interesting crossover and promotional opportunities, but I have no idea what Chatter and the marketing team are thinking about. And I don't know how much that would actually cross over to people wanting to play a game based on the MLS, right? Or the MLS Players Association. So we'll see how that ends up actually working out. But that is coming in November, so that's exciting. And I do plan on stacking and staking as much GLX tokens as I can for the long run. Okay, number 4, and I couldn't find this in the recap, but I feel like I remember Hatham or Don Gorgon talking about this, but there's going to be like a wild and modern league, and it's not, he didn't call it wild and modern. I forgot what he said or how he framed it. But it makes sense where there's going to be like a current format and then a legacy format, right? And the idea is that every year you're going to get new cards, brand new cards from whatever the current season is. So I'm actually surprised that the packs for this year, or the packs that are being released now, weren't called like, GM, GMLSPA 23, right? Because it's going to be based on the 2023 season, right? Or like it's going to take 2022 stats and be based on the 2023 season. So I would expect like in a year from now, or maybe a little more than a year from now, we're going to get another pack sale that will be for the 2024 upcoming season and the 2025 season and 2026. So what does that mean when you're looking at, okay, how will these formats play out? Legacy/wild format is easy because it's like you can take any card from any edition, any period, any year and play it. But what is the modern thing going to look like? Because you can't really take 2 seasons, right? That doesn't make sense. So what if you just have the most current season? That could be interesting. It's going to require you to be spending a ton every single time a new set comes out and essentially buying brand new cards, leveling them up both from a star level, so you're combining the cards, as well as an XP level, so you have to play with them. So part of me just looks at this and says, well, imagine if like modern format and Splinterlands, for all my Splinterlands folks out there, imagine if modern format was just the newest format, right? I mean, that'd be kind of cool, but that would also require a massive investment every single time a new main set was launched. So I think that's how I'm seeing it now. That's what makes the most logical sense. I think that requires a bit of an investment depending on how expensive the cards end up being and how much you need to buy to actually level them up and max them out. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be one of the few people that can play in that format, then maybe the rewards are going to justify it. And maybe you're going to get people aping into these things because it's like, well, I spend X amount of dollars on buying the cards that I need to play competitively at this level, and I can make 3x that amount in a year, right? Playing or whatever, like 3x in that amount over the year of playing in that format, right? You're going to have people who are good at the game, savvy with investing and finances, and really just good at figuring out how all of that works out. So I don't know. This is more just speculation, but it is confirmed that there is going to be, I believe, an old format and a new format. So we'll end up seeing what that looks like. But for now, that's how I'm thinking about it. Okay, and then number 5, just to close things out, a reminder that nothing is final yet. And if that sounds a little frustrating, it's because it is. It's not. I don't say that in like a good way. It's just due to the simple fact that like they're talking about, you go to the Q&A section down here. It's like how much, or how many cards will you need to buy in order to max out your deck, or how many cards will you need to max out like a coach, or how much will we need to spend? What are all the different things here? And they don't have that information yet because a lot of that is still being thought out. So I say this not as a bad thing for the team and the development. They're going to go at their own pace, and I'm sure we will get this game at some point. But I think it's just important for people to realize, especially if you're as hyped about it as I am, that we are very far away from this game being launched. So the intended goal is for February of next year, or I believe March of next year. And the only saving grace, in my opinion, that gives me confidence that they're not going to be late is they want to launch this with the new season. And I believe that starts in February or March of next year. So again, that gives us a timeline of when we can expect this, right? End of Q1, maybe early Q2. And that's, it's like 6 months from now, right? So 6 months from now. So it will be a while. I would practice some patience when it comes to expecting updates on this. But like I said, the good thing, or the silver lining, is that there is a deadline, right? I can't imagine this launch getting pushed to like middle of next year, like June or July, like where we're already halfway into the MLS season. Like they're gonna lose so much momentum. They're gonna lose so much opportunity to get people into the game, buying cards in a season where maybe a player is already injured or out for the year, or got traded to another team, or teams don't really matter, but you know what I'm saying, right? So that's my thought process with this moving forward. Like I said, I'm planning to buy some packs. I'm going to hold on for the long term. I like GLS as a platform, and I'm excited to get my GLX tokens, but I don't think there's going to be any good news between now and the end of the year, and maybe even end of January. I think by the time we get to February, we'll start hearing some interesting things. And I'm not saying not good news, but it's just like I'm not expecting like significant developments. We're going to get little teasers here and there, but the game isn't going to come before that, in my opinion. And I don't think they have any plans of releasing before that. So just keep that in mind as we head into the end of the year. And hopefully the holidays that are coming up and the holiday season will keep us all distracted, or maybe focus on Splinterlands while they finish development up here. But overall, I am still very bullish on GLS, the platform. And I am very excited about GLG, the game, Genesis League Goals. I have never been one for soccer/football, but I am crazy about the World Cup. And to be honest with you guys, I was actually just watching my first MLS game. It's one of the playoff games that's going on right now, just to get acquainted with some of the players. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm a big believer in the platform that GLS can be over the next 5-10 years. We'll see how it goes. But that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will catch you all in the next one, and I will see you around the game. Take care.